Don't wait till the night before Christmas to be good.
And in 3, 2, 1, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 3 of the 8th 12 podcast of Christmas. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Francois, the Nation.
I'm Andrew Sorsdahl.
And I am...
Shaky McShakerson.
No. I'm Dennis Rodman. Going to North Korea later.
Offside.
Why? Dennis Rodman's great.
Offside.
I love the Bulls in the 90s. Are you fucking high?
Nope.
Well,
That's not my objection.
what is it? You're going to get drunk?
No.
So what's the drink for today?
This is a bunch of crap.
Our drink is this.
Garbage. It's fucking garbage, I think.
It's True North Candy Cane Cream.
It kind of sounds like candy-coated corn nuts.
Kimmy corn candy coated corn nuts.
Yeah, corn nuts.
Thank you.
Kimmy corn candy-coated corn nuts. No, Kimmy corn chocolate-covered candy-coated corn nuts. Cheers, you guys.
Wait, this is from Highwood Distillers from High River, Alberta. So this is a fairly local product.
You never know it from the graphic design, which doesn't look like it's local at all.
No, it looks more.
It looks very
Professional.
Not done in a.
I wonder if it's more expensive to make it look not like shit.
No,
Do you think?
because that's like they'll print anything you give them. Like,
Cheers to Kimmy corn chocolate-covered candy-coated corn nuts.
cheers.
Cheers.
They were actually pretty good, from what I can remember.
Yeah, they were the one thing you liked on Fran Eats. Ooh, that's not bad.
I'm not a fan.
Very candy cane.
I don't hate that. I mean,
I'm not a big mint guy, but yeah, I don't mind that.
not good on its own. That would be really good in like a coffee or something would be really
I
good.
just brush my teeth.
Maybe if you had like a hot chocolate, but
Yeah,
that's fucked. It's so weird. I like after eights, but I don't really like mint chocolate at all.
I like that. I genuinely like that.
Amy would probably like that. I think she likes mint chocolate a lot. So she'd probably fucking love that shit.
I'm a big mint chocolate chip ice cream. Fuck yeah.
When your
time.
legs don't work like they used to. We're just watching a TikTok.
It's a great TikTok.
And I don't watch TikToks. And if you know the
sure
guys
fan.
from Weapons, I don't do
big TikTok guys.
I don't do TikTok Weapons. I don't do TikTok. France flies down.
Looks like the Burger King. Ooh, that looks like it would hurt a lot. It's a man with a crown, paper crown on his head. Man, he must have broken his teeth.
It's on the
It's a
grass.
man
Fleeing.
like
Fleeing
it's a
from
man,
the place.
It's a thin, bone-thin man, like perhaps malnourished. Not certain about that. But he is running through what looks like a suburban lawn. Is he supposed to be in the neighborhood? I'm not certain. I think he is being chased. Why is he running? But he's drinking a beer, or at least a brown bottle. I know that in countries not like besides North America, sometimes they'll put sodas in brown bottles. So it could be a soda, could be water. Like I would guess, because of his dress and because of the fact that he's malnourished, he probably can't afford cases of beer. So I'm going to say it's probably a glass brown bottle he found on the ground that he filled with water.
There are sodas in North America.
He's wearing, instead of a hat like Andrew's hat,
There are sodas
that's an actual
in
hat.
North America.
That's a real hat. He's wearing a paper crown, so like that's probably another testament to how destitute he is. But anyways, he's running across a suburban lawn. He's not supposed to be in the neighborhood. He obviously gets startled by authorities of some kind, and then he trips and he falls with like brown.
Oh, he's stunned. Taser.
Oh, they taser him. Yeah, authorities taser him. Not further proof of there being authorities on the scene. They taser him. He freezes up from the electricity. and then he bashes his teeth. He has a brown ball in his mouth, and he hits it on the ground, bashes his teeth, and they play that.
We have
Ed
proof
Sheeran
in
song?
hand that there are, in fact, sodas in North America served in brown bottles, glass bottles.
High quality sodas.
What
such
you're
as-
looking at now is a
Crim-
podcast, friends of the podcast, Crim City Cola,
It's a Kingpin Cola.
Crim City Soda.
Crim City Soda. It's a Kingpin
Cola.
Cola with a
I remember
K.
not liking that one.
It
You
was
said
horrid.
It tasted like,
Chewing on roots.
yeah, it was like root beer and cinnamon flavored mouthwash.
That sounds bad.
King City Soda. We love
Crim City Soda, the Kingpin Cola.
we love snack foods that include at least 6 names.
That's how you know they're high quality.
Yeah, like
Makes
Kimmy
them fun to
corn,
read.
chocolate coated, candy coated. No,
Kimmy corn, chocolate covered, candy coated corn nuts.
by Kimmy corn. What do you have in there, Andrew?
I'm having an Arizona
Anybody-
hard iced tea,
If anybody ever is in the
peach flavored.
anybody's ever in the mood for a cooler that is lightly carbonated, doesn't have a lot of sweetness, they taste very much like the original non-alcoholic
These?
product. Yeah,
Yeah,
very, very comparable.
the peach especially is quite good. Have you had the peach?
I haven't.
The peach is my personal favorite.
I feel like these are a little more 99 cents though. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Arizona iced tea, they're a favorite drink of the Lieberson family. They are 99 cents for much larger than a King can. They are a huge can. They've got to be the largest can on the market. Largest standard canned product.
It used to be such a treat getting in Arizona. I really enjoyed their fruit punch.
Oh, the Arizona fruit punch is dynamite.
We used to drink that. No, the raspberry ones we used to drink with whiskey.
Summertime sadness. That's what we called it.
Yeah.
One of the best cocktails you'll ever have, any time of year, but specifically in the
JP
summer.
Weiser's Deluxe.
Weiser's Deluxe, big glass of ice, lots of ice, a bunch of Weiser, however much Weisers you want, and then the rest,
Whatever you little bitches can handle.
and the rest filled with raspberry iced tea, affectionately known as Ryan Raz,
Mm-hmm.
or
Summertime
by more
Sadness.
popular name, Summertime Sadness.
Does anyone own Arizona? Like any of the big companies? Or they kind of stayed their own thing?
Let's find out.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny. You know how they say in that Ryan Gosling Avatar thing, who uses papyrus? Arizona uses papyrus.
They do.
And it's in tea, which is really funny because they say off-brand tea.
Iced tea.
It's iced tea, but still, that's a funny coincidence. Papyrus is synonymous.
Founded in
with
Brooklyn,
tea.
New York. Worldwide, mainly United States, Mexico, and Canada. $3 billion company. Parent company is Hornell Brewing Co.
I'm gonna assume that's the original owner.
Yeah. Don Vitaggio is a billionaire businessman. And all he did was found Arizona iced tea, and he's a billionaire.
And he probably had to create Hornell as a holding company because he had so much fucking money.
Yeah.
money.
Wesley and Spencer both work for the company. Wesley is the creative director who uses
Papyrus.
papyrus with E accent aigu. Or is that just the French side? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I say it right, of course.
Yeah, it's not Arizona hard tea glacé.
I'm almost certain I've used that hard font as well. Like I think they go online, they just find free fonts.
In 2004, they bought a 2-acre private peninsula in Sandpoints, Long Island for $4 million and finished the building of their 30-room mansion in 2007. What a staff to clean such a facility.
Funny story about the French writing on Canadian products. I have a family who lives in America, and when I was younger, my uncle, who is from Michigan, didn't fully understand the whole French thing, and so he'd given a bunch of the kids juice from the fridge, but it was from the French side. So I remember him coming out and asking us. I was older at this time, but he said, "Yeah, I gave a bunch of the kids some of that framboise cocktail."
Oh, I
was
thought
in the
for sure you
fridge.
were going to say pamplemousse.
No, framboise cocktail. I hope that's okay to give to the kids. Were like, framboise cocktail. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I went inside and looked, and it was just a raspberry cranberry
Cocktail.
raspberry or whatever. Raspberry, I think.
Cocktail.
Juice. And it was the French side out. So he thought it was some weird product called framboise cocktail.
What's the French word for grape again?
Resin, same as raisin.
Raisin, right? Yeah.
I'm
I
amazed
know
that you
most
knew
of the
that.
fruits.
Pear.
That's a tough one. I'm pretty sure lemon or lime is citron
Citron,
or
yeah.
something like that.
Citron.
What the fuck is pineapple? L'ananas? Is that
Les
pineapple?
ananas, yeah.
Is that
Les ananas.
pineapple?
Well, we all know that from Tele Français. Tele Français.
What the fuck's a banana then?
Le banana.
Banana, I don't know. Les ananas, because there's a talking pineapple. Les ananas. And then whenever he shows up,
Apple
everyone's
is palm.
palm, yeah. And
Potatoes,
is
pomme de terre.
Yeah. This is a good, like, grade 7 French lesson here.
Pamplemousse
Apple of
is
the earth.
pamplemousse is grapefruit. Grape is raisin. How do you say scotched egg en français?
I know how to say, I know how to ask.
Comment on dit?
Comment dit-on?
Oof
Scotch egg.
Oof is
en
egg.
français.
Oof is egg. So les scotch oof.
Le ouf du côté.
Le oof discoté.
One thing I've always desired to do is to go to a city that has a majority French-speaking population, and in a very thick, well-articulated French accent, continually go up to people and tell them in their native language that I don't speak the language.
Mm-hmm.
For example, je m'excuse, je ne parle pas français. It's like
And then they'd say, excuse?
je ne parle pas français.
You'd be like, do your fucking ears work?
My favorite.
I don't speak French.
My favorite French sentence is one that our good friend Sam translated in when we were in high school, and it's "Est-ce que tu veux chatouiller mon cornichon pour 500?"
No, yeah, that's good.
Est-ce que tu veux chatouiller mon cornichon pour 500? Which means, do you want to tickle my pickle for a nickel?
I'll give you a nickel to tickle my pickle.
No, do you want to tickle my pickle for a nickel?
Ask you.
Because est-ce que tu,
Oh, yeah.
est-ce que tu, yeah, chatouiller mon cornichon pour 500.
I knew how to say the small black cat in 15 languages at one point, and I don't really remember most of them.
And he can't even do the
But
Afrikaans one anymore.
Yeah, he
yeah,
doesn't even know.
that one's really easy. Well, I know that. That's
He doesn't know it anymore.
But no, in film school, there's so many cultures. It was like really easy to get it all. I knew it in German, Portuguese, Spanish, French, Russian.
I don't even know what cat is in French anymore.
Chat.
Is it?
Yeah.
Just shut?
Chat.
Le petit chat noir. That's one of the ones I remember.
I know omelette du fromage.
But my goal is to open a line of bars, or I don't know,
And they're all
something,
called the Small
restaurants,
Black
and then
Cat.
call them all the small black cat. But it's that in Canada, it'd be the small black cat. France would be le petit chat noir.
Well, actually, in Canada, it would be the small black cat / the petit chat noir.
Yeah.
It would be both.
He doesn't do it. It would only be like that in New Brunswick. Today on the podcast, we are going to be doing another one of Andrew's Reddit roundtable discussions. This is where we take Andrew's suggestions and we just see where it goes. He's gonna look at us. I don't know where I'm going with this. What the roundtable Reddit roundtable is, Andrew is going to take "Am I the asshole?" question from Reddit. For example, I gave a homeless man $20 and he bought a bottle of alcohol. Am I the asshole? But we're going to try and wean them out a little bit so that you see or that you hear stories that are a little bit more gray, hopefully.
Yeah, this one's a little bit more gray, I think.
So the idea is this person posts to Reddit asking if they're the asshole in the situation, and we as a group are going to decide their fate.
Yes.
Andrew, please go ahead.
Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for my sister's husband's surgery with my inheritance / college money? Context. My sister, who's a 27-year-old female, and I, 18-year-old female, lost our dad a year ago. He was my only parent. Mom was never in mine or my sister's lives. Dad left money, inheritance, for me and sister, and she used her inheritance to get new cars and renovate her house. I live with my aunt right now because my brother-in-law didn't let me stay with my sister. I'm planning on using my inheritance money to pay for college tuition. I've always wanted to be a doctor, but haven't decided which branch yet. My sister and I haven't been close. It started after she got married to her chronically ill husband, who was allowed to make backhanded comments about dad and mock his illness and make a scene at his funeral, only because he's ill and shouldn't be held accountable for his behavior. I've distanced myself, but my sister kept visiting a lot lately, venting about her brother-in-law's condition. About my brother-in-law's condition, sorry. He's been in and out of hospital for heart problems.
They're both married to the same guy.
Problems and need for surgery. She brought up she brought up my inheritance money several times, but I ended up cutting the conversation. She then straight up asked if I could help pay for her husband's surgery, and she pay back in less than a year. I felt uneasy because if I give her money from my inheritance, which is a large amount, then there's no guarantee she'll pay back before it's time to apply for college. I'm taking a year gap, but I know my sister can't pay back that much, and I felt I was risking my future. I refused to help, and she had a meltdown at my aunt's house, calling me heartless, cruel, and with no empathy. She said that her husband's health should be priority, and I needed to help because education is nothing compared to someone's health, and asked if I'd be happy to see her as a widow and my nephew with no father. My aunt suggested others pay, but most of them cut my sister and her husband off. I argued that her husband's poor health isn't my fault, after she kept blaming and guilt-tripping me. She kept crying, and although my aunt decided to stay out of it, she said that I should be prepared for permanent damage in my relationship with my sister if I don't help her now. She's been sending texts and pictures of her family, telling me this is what I was saying no to, a happy, healthy family with a healthy husband and father. I cried and felt like I was being selfish, not a good aunt and sister. I asked my friend, and he said let them sell the cars and all the luxurious stuff they bought to afford the surgery, and warned me if I give them money, I'll never get it back and may not be able to go to medical school. Am I the asshole?
Yeah, simple solution to this. If she has a bunch of assets that you can prove are paid for, drop a contract in which you have general security over her assets, and then make sure the assets are in excess of 20% more than she lent you. She doesn't pay back in the period, seize her assets and wholesale them. Done. Yeah, lend her the money. Fuck it. I don't know why a financial institution won't lend her money, like, unless their borrowing power is really weak. But if they have all these assets that are paid for, whatever, take the cars in the house. Private lending's easy if you have everything done in paper. Like, yeah. I mean, this girl is obviously young, and she'd have to cover medical or lawyer expenses and stuff. I mean, you're not entitled to lend her money. I don't think you're an asshole for not doing it, but there is a way to make it work.
I also think this comes off the assumption that just because someone's family, there's like an inherent value to like, oh, just because you're my family, I should like give a fuck about you, even if you've treated me in a negative way. And it's like, fuck that. Toxic people are toxic people, whether they're your family or not.
Agreed.
And like, fuck that.
Also, this is a great advertisement for, I'm assuming this is an American problem, because in Canada, universal health care would have covered it and the taxpayers would have footed the bill. We obviously
bunch of commie crap.
We should be dismantling the healthcare system.
Yeah, the sister should ask one question. Who'd you vote for in the last election? Oh, interesting. Yeah, deal with the fucking repercussions, cocksucker.
I think we should repeal Obamacare in Canada.
Yeah, we should
I'm done. I'll do it now.
move towards more of a two-tiered health system.
I did it.
One tier, private.
You owe me $6,000 for repealing Obamacare in Canada.
No, obviously
that was a less controversial one. I guess my thought with choosing that one was more like,
no, I like your commentary.
Do you value is family something? Because there are lots of cultures, lots of people.
Once again, I would do it. Like I would give them the money. Like that's the thing. I don't think she's an asshole for not giving them the money. Like I don't think she's like beholden to do that. But I would give them the money. Like absolutely. Like it wouldn't even be a question in my mind. It's like it would be like, yeah, you have the money, and then I have to fucking figure it out. But like, so I would behave differently than she did, but I don't think she's an asshole because of it. Like, I don't, like, once again, it's one of those things where, yeah, I don't think she's an asshole. I would have done something differently, but I don't know.
I only disagree because I wouldn't have behaved differently based on the relationship they have. It sounds like her sister was pretty awful leading up to this, even, but before she asked for the money, they've had a strained relationship. And I think, like, yeah, the whole, like, concept that family is
Like an Italian family.
like blood, it doesn't matter. You're my family. It's like, well, no, like how we treat each other also matters.
No, but I honestly think that if somebody that wasn't my family came up to me and asked me for money for someone's death, I would have a really difficult time turning them away, I think. Like, if somebody directly asked me, like, I'm not, because obviously I could just give money to whoever because people always need money. But if somebody directly come up to me and was like, hey,
This person's
this
gonna die
person,
if you don't give this
yeah,
money
and
that
I
I
saw
know
the
you
face
have.
face, I would have a difficult time if I had the money, obviously, like, not saying I
Okay,
got
but, like,
the
I
money.
guess
If I
hypothetical,
had the money, I'd have a difficult
hypothetical
time
for
saying
you.
no.
You have the money for you and Amy to buy a house.
Yep.
And someone, we'll say not even your family, but someone like, whatever, strained relationship, but you maybe care about them a little bit, comes and asks you for money because they're having hard times, and you have to, basically your face.
Or are they dying or are they not dying? Because that's a big deal for me.
Yeah, like they've got some cancer diagnosis and they need to in order to, like,
Survive?
yeah.
If it's not survive, then it takes the whole wind out of
I
myself.
mean,
The whole
in
thing is like
Canada-
living
in
or
Canada-
dying.
In Canada, no, it's
Well,
it's not about.
Well,
it's
no,
not
no,
about.
but like
Let's
this
say
is a
universal-
fictional scenario. Like we can just fictionalize the whole thing.
I'm
but
trying to
it's
make
like,
it. I'm trying to
if
make
it's
it
not-
somewhat realistic.
Well, if it's not
I mean,
live or,
like,
if it's not live or die, then I could give it.
I mean, in Canada, again, a cancer diagnosis is like, yeah, the medical care is paid for, but like, if your kid has cancer, you can't work. You can't, like, your entire life's going to go to ruin unless you have other financial support. So it's in terms of, like, will you survive? Yeah, you'll survive. Will your life ever be like? Yeah, you'll physically
that
live.
one's easier for me to say no to. Like, if it was if like in that scenario it's live or die, and in that scenario I'm giving them the money so that the guy doesn't die.
Fuck
Absolutely.
'em.
But yeah, if shit can be figured out in other ways, then I'm not as.
That's
Then I
fair.
don't feel as beholden.
Fuck them. Take them for 200%. Fuck them. That's my whole thing. In this particular scenario, the sister's saying, I'm going to pay you back. I'm like, all right, put your money where your mouth is then and surrender your assets to me in a general security agreement. And it's like,
Okay, but
this is a totally another question. If she's like, I need this money and my husband's going to die and it's a gift, then we're talking a totally other circumstance for me. It's like,
And then you wouldn't give them money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, not necessarily. I mean, in
Well,
this,
so let's make that scenario. What would you do in that scenario?
again, it's tough for me to read into
they
their
won't pay you
relationship.
back.
Like, obviously, my siblings that I currently have, I would give
Well, let's
them
say
the
it's
money.
somebody you don't. Let's say it's somebody you don't like.
like,
They ask
say
you
it's
for
me.
money.
Oh, not a chance.
Exactly.
Let him die. Kill
Let him
you
die.
and the spouse.
I would potentially front some of the cost, help them fundraise for other things. I'm totally cool with, like, lending them my time or, like, you know, doing a
But it's a
fundraiser.
no to giving them the money that they asked for. The thing they asked for, you would not give them. I would.
Yeah, I wouldn't. No.
Like, it's easy for me. Like, for example, I have family I'm estranged with. I literally have no contact with some of my extended family. And for me, it's like if those people came and asked me to piss on them while they were on fire, it would be very easy for me to say, fuck you and no.
Right.
You know what's funny about the scenario you just outlined? It would be tough for me to do that because I have terrible stage fright.
Right.
Like it's like I really fucking
What's
want to
the other
help
word
you.
for
I
it?
really want to put for it. I think it's
No, there's like peasiety or something people call it. Like,
pee anxiety.
no,
Piss
there's
anxiety?
like a where they're combining.
Shy bladder.
No, like
Shy bladders one. Tiny pee syndrome.
SML PP.
SMLPP,
Inverted penis.
penile discomfort,
Baby dick.
extreme penile discomfort. I'm Rami Malek.
But yeah, I'm
What?
like, can you imagine a scenario where a guy like he's on fire and the only like you have a full bladder And it's like, I can't. Like, I want to help you. I desperately want to help you. But can you look in the other direction while you're on
Yeah,
fire?
you have to look somewhere else, my man.
Please.
Rami Malek.
Yeah, no, I interesting scenario. I also think it's
I
like,
definitely don't think but the point of the question, I don't think she's an asshole. Like to answer that question, I don't think she's an asshole.
I really don't, especially because it's not like she's not this established person who has this money that's like savings that is sitting there that she could like feasibly replenish. She's a young person who has
you're
this
also
money.
killing her earning potential.
You're killing her ability to get to
this
for
will,
future
this
to
will 100% affect the rest of her life.
like huge handicap, big time.
huge. So for that reason,
she has been set back
additional.
potentially 10 to 20 years.
Well, that's the thing. The interest and things she would have to pay on the student loan she would have to take out means that her donation of, for example, $100,000 is now equating to more like $150,000.
Yeah, she would either have to put off her education or she would have to take on enormous debt.
Massive
or get really lucky.
Yes. At the craps table.
Yeah. So I think we're all in agreement.
If the sister doesn't pay her back, like she said she would.
Which, I mean, it sounds very much like that's not a thing that was going to happen.
I don't. Anytime
Based on the information we have.
Every time somebody says I'm going to pay you back, I assume that money is burned and gone.
So yeah, I think, and we're on a similar.
I think we all agree not the asshole, and then there's variations of that verdict.
Right. Yeah, I know.
I'm very much like she's not the asshole, and fuck your sister for even asking.
Kill your sister.
No, don't kill your sister, but like fuck her,
Fuck your sister.
but not literally.
Figuratively. Fuck your sister.
Nail her, buddy.
Figuratively have sex with your sister.
For those of you who are interested in the design work you see in front of you, Andrew was very adamant this year that one of the most popular segments from the last 8 years has been when we built gingerbread houses. So if you see in front of us on the signage, that is a photo of house.
You're gonna explain this
Of house.
every single episode. This is gonna come up.
Of house.
Every single
of
episode.
House MD, who has been modified to look as if his skin is textured with gingerbread. So that is our gingerbread
It's
house.
a lot more difficult to see that in the camera. I'm excited to see what this looks like.
I built that gingerbread house.
Also, is the title backwards?
Oh God, I hope probably.
I'm trying to think, because that's how cameras work, right?
It's
Is it
sad
backwards?
It's sad that we don't know this.
No, it's fine. It's fine. The 12 pi.
Yeah, I can see it there.
It's really difficult to read from here, so it might be tough for you.
I have my contact lenses in, so I can see it. But
I can. Yeah, I know it looks right to me.
No, that's how mirrors work.
yeah.
That's what I was thinking about.
Oh, these are mirrorless cameras.
Yes, these are mirrorless cameras.
Where's that shaker? Let's do another.
I can see.
taste.
I can see.
But I also think that mirrorless cameras digitally,
They crack
like
it. Mirrored cameras.
yeah, I don't know. What the fuck do I know about cameras? I don't
like
fucking
it's
know.
a cheap, shitty liquor, and the fucking lid is fucked.
It's like look at that lid. It's like a fucking shotgun
Why is that?
shell.
Why does that even?
Oh!
Like it's not.
Oh,
Scored.
you broke the thing off instead of the thing.
Well, it's not scored enough.
Oh,
Like this won't twist apart from here. Oh, there it did.
well, there you go.
I had to really
You
manhandle it.
ruined
We'll
it.
save that because we might need it,
We'll put that on.
Yeah, we better save this.
and the other one.
Yeah.
We need to save these two as a unit. Because what? Who knows?
No,
when
no,
that's
they
gonna-
have to go on.
Who knows when this is going to come in handy? These two together, right?
I know, like
Save
everything.
Save everything.
On this week's episode of Hoarders.
For those of you who don't remember, I was a bartender at the Pink Flamingo for 11 years. One of the oldest hotels on the strip.
Are you pouring us another shot?
I don't know. Andrew seems to think we're doing one.
It's the liqueur. It doesn't even count.
Illusion, not ruined.
Unruin the illusion.
That sounds like that's another.
Fucking bullshit.
Wow, you really fucked up, didn't you?
What is the second form of the Dark Magician called, Bradford?
What?
Second form.
Yes, he has like, you know how it's like you
when he
take 3
fusions.
Blue Eyes White Dragons and you turn them into a Blue Eyes Grey White
what?
Dragon.
Polymerization? I don't know. Like they fuse with something?
Oh, he's
It has a he
he
goes with Time Wizard and he becomes.
Oh God, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's not. It's
You
like,
picture what he looks like?
Yeah.
I can. Yeah.
What does he look like?
It's like black with like a kind of dark blue face and like
Yeah.
He's got one distinctive feature that's very different from the Dark Magician. What is it?
I don't remember.
It's a beard.
Oh, Time Wizard.
No, Time Wizard is who he.
No. It's. You're right. It's like. Fuck. I'm gonna butcher this. I'm not gonna try.
I also don't remember, which is why I was legitimately asking because I remember that it's a thing.
That's right.
But it's something sage. I think it might be dark sage, but I'm not 100% sure.
Dark Sage.
Fuck yeah! All
Wow.
right, good job, brain.
That would be a wild thing.
There's also a Red Eyes Time Wizard.
That would be a wild thing
That's
to do on the podcast. Would be get some Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon cards and like play a game of fucking Yu-Gi-Oh.
I play Yu-Gi-Oh. I play the shit out of Magic. Magic's a great game.
It's a fun game. The only thing
Great game.
that sucks about it is like it's a pay to play game. Like it's
Yes,
just like
but that's every game.
Oh no, he's not a fusion.
Except for
he's
Halo
not a
Infinite.
He's not a fusion monster.
I thought it was Time Wizard and Dark Magician.
No, you sacrifice. You tribute your Dark Magician immediately after applying the effect of Time Wizard, which is called the coin toss.
Oh, you need Time Wizard
In
and Dark
which you call
Magician to
the
do it.
So you have to do the Time Wizard thing, flip a coin, call the coin correctly, and then discard
But
your...
you still need a Dark Magician and a Time Wizard in order for a Dark Sage to enter the battlefield.
You can add any one spell card from your deck to your hand. Wow, that's a good card.
I don't remember how the game works.
But you get to go through your fucking your deck and pull out a good card.
That's sweet. That is sweet. I remember it's a fucking big ass like Trump card in the show.
That's good.
But the show is like stupid. It's like, I have summoning Zodia. Yes, well, I have a summoned skull, so I win. It's like,
that
that
show is
doesn't
like,
make any sense.
I believe in the heart of the card, so my Celtic Guardian actually slays your blue eyes white
Celtic
dragons.
Guardian, sweet. Gaia the Fierce Knight, that's another good one.
I have a holographic Celtic Guardian in this basement right now.
I have the original
Our
Blue
cards
Eyes
are
White
mixed up
Dragon.
right now. Brad has all 3 of the original Blue Eyes White Dragon
He doesn't.
printings.
He doesn't even have one. His 3 aren't the original Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yeah, I
card.
have the one that faces to the right, the one that came with the Kaiba deck.
You might have one.
Yes,
He has
I have
all
one.
3
might have
variations
one.
of it.
I have the light blue one that leans
So
to the
you
left.
might have one original, but you don't have 3 of them.
No, I have one original, one that came with Shonen Jump, and then the left-handed dark
For some
blue
reason, in
one.
my head, you don't even have an original.
Yeah, he has
You
one.
don't
He has,
grab this fucking thing.
No, you can do it after. We
one
can
thing.
show it after.
One thing I'm excited to find potentially at my mother's house when I go for Christmas. I have all my original Pokemon cards,
I wonder if mine's in there.
and I have some that might actually be worth some money. I have a first edition Venusaur
That's sweet.
holographic that actually I looked it up. It might be worth like
Is it in good
1,000.
condition?
Oh yeah, should be in great condition. It's in a sleeve. These are Bradford and I's Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
All right, fuckface.
Oh, here's the most powerful Yu-Gi-Oh card of them all. Fran's not on the sweatshirt right now, but here's the most powerful Yu-Gi-Oh card of them all.
I don't know if mine are in here.
Martin
that's mine.
Rusinski, the most powerful Yu-Gi-Oh card ever to exist. Martin Rusinski.
Oh, and then I went and bought a stupid pack of new cards, but the game is completely different now.
So this is an OG. This is the one that came in the original deck. Blue Eyes White Dragon. I have it in a nice sealed thing, so it can't take any damage. And I remember I wasn't allowed to play with Yu-Gi-Oh cards because I was a Christian.
Because they were of the devil.
And in the Bible, it clearly says, "Thou shalt not Yu-Gi-Oh." So I didn't, and I still don't because it's sinful. But I have this to remind me of sin and why I shouldn't have sex or drink. And there you go. So get one so you don't do those things.
God damn it. Frank,
they're-
keep talking. I'll find one.
They're going to keep looking. But what Brad is looking for, and the contention here, is. I can't remember because I've seen all three, but I can't remember. I remember
only three.
For some reason, there's only 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons in the world.
No, but there's only 3 card models.
3 variations of it.
I think. Well, by now there's probably lots.
Here you go.
Yeah, there you go. There's a cool card. Guy the Fierce Knight. That's another cool one from the OG collection. But if you bought the Seto Kaiba, because I think the 2 starter decks when they first released them there was the Yugi one and there was Seto Kaiba. Those are the first 2 you could get.
Andrew, I think these might be mostly yours.
This was the card you would get in the Seto Kaiba deck.
I don't know any of my Blue Eyes White Dragons in here.
So
these are mine.
I think these are mostly, if not all yours.
Nice.
I don't know where the fuck mine are. Then. Son of a bitch. You really care about these things till you don't.
I remember when this was my entire world.
I had these one day, and then there was sex, and then I didn't look at these things.
That's why I have one, so that I don't do sex, and then I still can't do Yu-Gi-Oh. So I can't do sex or Yu-Gi-Oh. So that's pretty good.
Holy fuck, is that funny?
That's good.
So tell us, Fran, which of the saints
do you
Not a Catholic, you fucking
heathen
monster? Yeah, you heathen. You fucking what are the what's the fucking word I'm looking for here?
There we go.
There one?
Hollow trap
hole. That's sweet. Yeah, these are all OG cards. These are sweet. We should get some sleeves for these.
No, they might be yours then, because I don't have a tune anyway. You have a tune.
These are even all. These are just like the ones that I kept.
Oh no, I know. Sorry, I didn't mean
What's that dragon? Crimson something. The one that polymerizes with Guy the Fierce Knight. What's that dragon called?
Oh,
Curse of Dragon. That's what it is. He's not a dragon. He's a curse of dragon.
They're at your house. I guarantee they're in your.
No, they're in Saskatoon somewhere.
Are they?
Yeah.
Unless Kelsey saw an opportunity and threw them in the garbage.
Ooh, that looked like I thought it was Great Anus for a second.
Great Angus. That's a pretty good. You should keep that one. That's funny. That should be a meme. Great Angus. The one true Scotsman. Great Angus.
Great Angus.
The weird red warthog. Man beast.
So I want to change gears here a little bit and talk about a recent terrible experience we had at a restaurant.
Ooh, it was terrible.
Actually, I had Fran, you have a different perspective because you sat at a different table than us. Was your service at Cohen Brothers all right?
Totally normal.
Because ours was fucking horrible, and I don't know why.
PBRs cost $7 and some, which was really stupid.
For a pint?
Yeah.
I thought you meant like a can. I was going to freak out.
My single rye ginger was $8.50.
I don't fucking remember what anything cost. I was so goddamn mad at how long everything was taking.
That's a claim to fame right there.
Everything took so long.
I waited.
I think that was the worst service I've ever fucking had ever.
I waited 40 minutes for a. Did you take that away?
A friend of ours, not a friend of the podcast. Oh yeah, this is definitely yours because there's a fucking
I know
hockey card.
I said he's the most powerful Yu-Gi-Oh card there is.
Martin Rakinski from the Montreal Canadiens. Our friend ordered a whiskey and water. And
half an hour after ordering,
she came and asked
what kind of whiskey he wanted.
Wow. And I didn't leave a good tip. And I'm sorry, but
I still tipped, but I didn't leave a good one. I never not tip.
I gave her $2. And my bill was only 20 some bucks because I had a burger and one beer.
Can you click? I'm very sorry to interrupt this, and I'll let you continue. I just have to ask one question. Can you very clearly picture the 3 Yu-Gi-Oh card, three Blue Eyes White Dragons you own in your head? You very clearly.
Very clearly.
And one of them is this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. One of them leans to the right, one leans to the left, and one has the world behind it.
And it's flying. In.
No, it's not flying. It's just kind of standing there like this. It also turns to the right a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry.
The one's a little bit baby blue. And it looks goofier than that original one. Because that's the one from the TV show. That came in the Seto Kaiba starter deck.
Yeah.
But I definitely have one of those. I only had 2 of the blue ones, and then I traded somebody for one of the light blue ones to get one of those so that I had all 3 different ones. Because I needed all 3 different ones. Because you need all 3 different ones. Because they're not the same. Anyway, I was just gonna say that was some of the worst service I've ever had, ever.
Where were we?
Cohen's
reveal?
Beer Republic in Saskatoon. I have no problem saying you're just across the bridge from a hot shot and you fucked up, and we're gonna take
Failing
you the fuck
of
down.
restaurant or staff.
The thing
It's
is,
one and the same, man. If
the food was good. Like I enjoyed.
it was great food. The problem is if you're short staffed, then a manager needs to step in. And if it's a manager's shortfall, but they can't make up for it, then the owners need to be there. That's all there is to it. There should never be a circumstance.
Especially not on a Saturday night.
If I was called down to the brewery on a Saturday night, they're like, we are screwed right now. Can you please come down? And unless I was preoccupied with something that I literally couldn't stop and help, and it was like absolutely necessary to protect the reputation, I would absolutely go down. That's ridiculous.
I know for a fact that you've done that because you literally went and washed dishes
yeah,
for a
but-
service.
I went and watched this for like 4 or 5 hours one time because we were short staffed. So
Bradford let me install a TV mount in the brewery, and I'm not certified to do such a thing.
he didn't do that. Our insurance doesn't cover that. He didn't do that. I don't know who this is. That doesn't seem to be an authentic Blue Eyes White Dragon. I think that might be a Chinese copy.
It could be. I don't know how I would know that.
I don't think he ever had an original Setokaiba starter deck.
There are little numbers on the bottom. Maybe that's something to do with
Serial
it.
code.
Printed copyright 96.
That's wild. Okay, gentlemen. Next worst service. Ryan, you didn't have that bad a service. So for you, worst service you've ever received that you remember, Andrew, second worst compared to Cohen's. Or maybe
Okay.
Cohen's isn't the worst.
The worst service, and I think it was worse than the service you guys got, because it was 3.5 hours without nothing. My girlfriend's brother got married, and we went to Banff for the marriage, and we went to this restaurant, which was really cool because it was like a fondue restaurant, but they did a whole bunch of weird meats. And anyways, we made a reservation, like whatever, a month in advance. You guys also made a reservation, which is worth mentioning. But anyways, we made a reservation like a month in advance. And then we're sitting down, and it took an hour and 15, I think, to get our fondue, and we were pissed off already. Or I wasn't. I was really trying, because it's like people just got married. So I'm like really trying to like
Keep the mood happy.
yeah,
Keep it
like trying to be like excited or whatever. But whatever. It takes an hour and 15. People are already really mad. Everybody's mad except for me, basically. And then we started eating our fondue, and we got like weird. It's like gator and shark and kangaroo and bullshit like that.
Exotic meats.
And so that was kind of fun. And then after that, we'd order drinks. Like I think the first thing we got was drinks, obviously, and that was like 50 minutes later. So then the meat came finally. I ordered when I got there, I whispered to the waitress, I'm like, hey, these two got married. Can I get a muff diver, please? And she's like, absolutely, no worries. So we got served that one time, and then we didn't get served again for an hour. And we're having kind of good conversation, but they're mostly talking about how shitty the service is. And then I think we get served one more time, and then finally it's like we get fed up, and then we're like, we're leaving. This is bullshit. I think we were there for 3.5 hours at this point.
Right.
And like 3 hour, 45 minute mark or something, we all were like, fuck this. We all stand up, and right as we stand up, Muff Diver comes out. She sits it down. And then it's like, oh, and then the two that got married, they look at it and they go, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, oh boy. And then I'm like, hey, happy marriage, happy life, happy wife. And then it's like, they're like, what the fuck is this? So I'm like, it's a Muff Diver. It's like a fun thing that people do. And they're like, well, how do you fucking do it? Because they're just pissed off about the situation. So now they're just mad about like
Everything.
weird stuff.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, how do you fucking do it? I'm like, well, there's a shot in it. And then you go and they're like, well, what the fuck is the shot? And I'm like, I asked them to just put something kind of good in it. And it's like, okay, well, let's try it. They try like 6 times each. They can't get to it because they put it in a fucking one of those stupid tall glass. If you make a Muff Diver, please check to see, even if you have to put a shot glass in a glass and then put your mouth on it and wash it and then bring it back, make sure that it's feasible to actually get it before you fucking serve it, because it's happened to me 3 times now that I've gotten Muff Divers. It's like, a person can't actually do this. But yeah, so then they fucking fished around the fishbowl for probably like 5 minutes. Or sorry, the Muff Diver for 5 minutes. And then they were really mad about that. And then I had to own up to me being the one ordering it, and then people were annoyed that I made them stay longer, and it was just awful, and the whole night was ruined because this restaurant.
Which is crazy to me
10
because
years to do anything.
Banff is like crazy tourist hotspot, so you better have, and they like bring staff in from like Australia, New Zealand, and like the UK.
Like headhunt
It
waiters.
seemed
waiters.
like other people were getting good service. It seemed like we
That's
were.
what I meant at
It seemed like
Cohen's.
we
Yeah.
were forgotten. Yeah, yeah.
there was some reason that we don't like that table for some reason. I can't think of anything worse than Cohen's. There was one specific interaction at a restaurant when we went to Regina that one time. I can't remember what it's called. That place we went with Sam, and before we went to go to the escape room that Mitch owns. That fireside bistro.
Oh yeah. Kelsey's like favorite restaurant.
It's the restaurant great. Once we sat down, service was fine.
Oh yeah, she was being.
But we
such a
walked in
bitch.
at like, it wasn't peak. It was like 2:30 or 3. So it was like between lunch and supper. And there was like
Easiest time to serve a huge tip.
yeah, exactly. We walked in, there was 9 of us, and we wanted to sit on the patio. And we walked in and we're like, yeah, can we sit in? Sure. She's like confused. Yeah, how many? We're like 9. And she's like, a walk-in 9. As if it was like insane that 9 people would ever want to sit together. And like the fact that we would think to do that without calling ahead was so crazy. And then here's the other kicker. So that happens. We laugh about it.
And it was nobody in there.
Nobody. It was literally it was like
Dead.
us, and that's it. One of their 2 top. And they're like all frazzled. It's 9. Anyways, like half a year or maybe even a year later, almost a year later, we're in town for Steel Panther. We want to go to that same restaurant, good food, whatever. We call ahead. We're like, yeah, we'd like a reservation. Yeah, for when? Like just so standoffish. For when? Tonight, if possible. Okay. How many people? 6. Yeah, you can just walk in. You don't need to call.
Oh yeah, right.
And it was like
It's so
pissed-
incredulous.
pissed to a boil. Like
Oh yeah, fuck! I was mad too. A walk-in 9?
like so incredulous.
Like we are the fucking customer, you bitch.
Like to begin with, I hate complaining about service because it's like,
I don't.
who am I to complain about? Like,
No. I also don't. I don't like complaining about service when things are like a little bit slow or the person's clearly busy or like I will never complain to a staff, a waitress about a shoddy kitchen item because
You got
I
a medium or instead of a medium rare.
Yeah,
It's
like-
not the
yeah,
end of the world.
I'll never send that back. Never.
I might at a really nice steakhouse where like I know that that's important to them that they don't have that going out. Yeah, but not at like I'm not doing that at
No, a
Original
place where
Joe's.
a place where you think they would want you to say
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but no, like this thing, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't, like a kitchen problem is not the waitress's problem. But, and again, like I said, it doesn't matter if it's a little slow, that's fine. You're new. I got lots of time for that. But shit like that where they're just like being outright rude to you for no reason. Because here's another answer that's totally acceptable. No. Can we seat 9? Nope. Okay, well, fair enough. It's your restaurant. You don't want us here. That's fine. Or yeah, maybe if you sit at separate tables. Okay, not a walk-in 9.
Yeah, like so scared and so like baffled. That
I feel like the
anyone
guy
even
who
asked that.
pitched the fridge idea to the Indiana Jones crew, the answer he should have gotten.
Yeah,
to-
I like the fridge thing.
I know you like the fridge thing. It's
You
impossible. The lead protects you from radiation, not the actual
Like,
explosion.
there's ghosts and fucking.
you probably also loved it when Fonzie jumped over the shark.
I didn't watch that show. Never watched it. I haven't watched a single episode. Was it Happy Days?
Yeah.
I haven't watched a single episode of Happy
Neither.
Days. Fun fact. I've seen
To be
clips.
fair,
I've
neither
seen
did I.
clips of fucking Happy Days. The fridge thing is a cute nod to. It's like 60s, 70s propaganda.
No. What I prefer, I have no problem with the fridge. The fridge shouldn't have been in the immediate blast radius. Like the idea of the fridge is to protect you from radiation because it's lead line, not
Yes.
to stop the explosion. It's not going to stop.
No.
Like the fridge, like get in your lead line fridge to avoid radiation
Which it
poisoning.
won't do.
No, but that's
Which
like
it won't do.
that's
It
you know like
also
when
won't
they
do that.
fucking
Well-
shoot your gums with radiation,
But
they put
I
a
mean,
lead
like,
they
think
put a
it's-
lead apron
But I
on
mean,
you.
like, think about it visually. It's like visually that's not going to come across if like he's like, oh, the radiation.
No, even
5
just
minutes
further
into
away,
the
I'm
fridge.
thinking like
It's like
in
you
a
need to
in a
show it
house where
getting
the walls
fucking
get blown down and stuff.
It gets thrown
Ridiculously far.
Too far. Like it doesn't matter what box you are in if you get dropped 10,000 feet
Yeah.
out of the air in any box.
Your arms
you
and
will
legs are all
die.
broken at minimum.
So yes, I don't know if the fridge is the problem. It might be that. So yeah, okay.
It's the whole
I can
scenario.
do that. But it's like I like the idea. Of
No,
the
I
fridge.
like the idea of the fridge too.
If
I
only
totally
if
don't.
it had just been blown like 50 feet instead of like several thousand.
Like pushed over, slid, flipped over once or twice.
Yeah, that would have been better. Even 10 times would have been fine. But it went quite far. And the town is in like the far distance when it lands. It's like it's an aircraft.
Yeah, really. I mean, in modern day, they would have made it radio in and then tried to shoot it down in modern day aerospace.
But I think the reason I just pass it is, well, I mean, because it's like lots of things in movies are like that. It's like this, you would be dead. But it's like I pass it because I like that it's very of the era. Like it's such a... It just
Piece
like,
of, yeah.
because like
that's a fair
Indiana Jones
point.
is like really good at doing that. Like they have these little cute hints and nods and like whatever. So I give that one a pass.
You know what's so wild?
I hate the CGI monkeys. I fucking hate the CGI monkeys. I think it's the worst CGI I think I've ever seen in a movie.
No. Gods of Egypt is the worst CGI I've ever seen.
But that movie is like, but it's at least it's like we are shit CGI,
Fictionalized,
and it's
yeah.
like we are shit CGI. Like this, we're not trying to be high, bro. Like
No.
we're not trying to be Indiana Jones. Which
What
is
about
like,
Scorpion, Mummy, Chris? Or
that's early days.
okay.
I could give that a pass, and it's so brief. But it's like the monkeys are like a whole. It's like, did you need to dedicate an entire sequence to Shia LaBeouf swinging like Tarzan with these CGI monkeys? Like that's the scene that bothers me in that movie. That could be cut. I don't.
Will there ever be another Indiana Jones?
They are
Yeah.
currently filming it. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Starring-
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford's in it, baby.
What?
He had some injury, and then they had to stall like the
Mhm.
last
Not
time.
starring.
Yep.
I think so. Yeah. I don't know if maybe this will be like
I guess it's
another
called.
attempt at a handoff, but what I hope they do is they just end it here, and then if they want to do it more, they just reboot it with a new actor.
Young Indy or
Because
whatever.
I don't want to see not Indiana Jones be Indiana Jones. I just want to see like somebody else do the role.
This will be like Indiana Jones and the quest to poop. He has to like go in the nursing home to find like his stool
I
software.
want to fly an old plane.
Can you imagine a whole movie that's like really sad and it's like an hour and a half of him dragging himself across the floor into the bathroom to shit, and then he's just bawling for 15 minutes crying, and then a nurse comes in and it's like, what is the problem? And it's like, you weren't here. I pressed the button 4 times. What the fuck? And then
I know.
credits.
Maybe not the earring today. Yes, always the earring. They're currently filming another Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Holy hell.
Indiana Jones 5. There should be more of those fucking movies. It was so popular. Everyone was great at the box office. There's only bloody 4 of those movies. And it's not like the Lord of the Rings where it's like they stopped because it's like we did 3 because there's 3 books.
Okay, last segment before we end. Everybody go through and name a sequel to end all sequels that you want to see. That would never, it might never happen. It might be feasible to happen.
Rain and Fire 2.
That's for
it.
sure. That's it.
Deep Blue Sea 2, but they did do a Deep Blue Sea 2. If they did like a proper Deep Blue Sea 2, yes. But like, I can't, like, what other movie do I want to see? Rain of Fire is the one where I'm like, this is sequel bait territory. Like, go. A good Pacific Rim 2 I'd love to see, but like, they did Pacific Rim 2 and that sucked. I'd love to see a good
Andrew?
Pacific Rim 2.
I need some time to think about it. You go.
Spider-Man 4. That's
A
not a
sequel that I want to see.
Oh, which will never ever happen is I would really like an Austin Powers 4.
So we can do. No, it doesn't have to be number 2.
No, it could be
Okay.
it could be in a series of sequels or a movie that will. My idea is like movie probably won't happen, but if you could move heaven and earth, you could make it happen.
Okay. Well, that I was thinking 2s.
I can't think of anything right now that you guys didn't already say. Rain of Fire 2 would be on my near the top of my list.
What about some of your gangster movies or something?
Like, can't really. There's not like a Goodfellas 2. Like, how do you do Goodfellas 2? He's already like the movie ends with him being an everyday schnook. Like that's the story. It's done. Like
Yeah, no,
it's based
I'm
on a
not
real
saying
story.
Goodfellas, I'm saying something to that.
Godfather, there already was a part 2, which was amazing, and then part 3 was a fucking piece of dog shit. Again, like I loved Looper. Looper would be a cool, but like, how do you do a sequel to Looper? Like that story is so like contained, and like that's why
Or like
it
an
works.
additional sequel onto an already existing series that's probably dead.
I don't know. Like,
Rain of Fire is the one that's the most, because it's like
yeah,
this could have been a thing, and it's like there's
Here's
so
mine.
much more you can do with big cool dragons.
Here's another one for me. Well, 2. The game counted as the third sequel, but another, like having the Ghostbusters cast before Harold Ramis died. But
Well, apparently you got that sequel now. Apparently this new Ghostbusters Afterlife movie is like
it's good.
you're gonna
Yeah.
if you like Ghostbusters 1, you're gonna love
Brewster's
Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Billions.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
Brewster's Millions is awesome.
Controversial opinion. If it was a good sequel, I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to Step Brothers. If it was like
What do you
a
do?
good version, well, I'm sure that's for them to figure out.
See, I thought about like Talladega Nights and Semi-Pro.
But the thing is, like Step Brothers kind of leaves it on that open note with them. Like they started the new company, and like there's things you could do with the whole like their new chapter.
I'm trying to think of all my favorite movies, and like none of them. I'm like, I
Austin
think
Powers just begs for a fucking sequel.
even things with
they were gonna
sequels,
do one.
I'm like, it might have been better without one. It's like I think about like horror movies. I'm like, just Shining. I'm like, it's not that I hate Doctor Sleep, but I'm like,
It's very different.
it's like I don't consider it a sequel to The Shining. It's like The Thing. I don't mind The Thing sequel, but it's like I also don't. Well, that's easy. That's whatever. That's fine. But like, what is a movie I love?
Again, like
I'm trying to think.
Snatch. Love Snatch. It's a contained story. How do you do a sequel to something that's like it has a very just part of why I love it is a very distinct like beginning and end. You know, like how do you do a Snatch sequel? I don't know if that's a thing that I really
Like
want
It
to see.
Follows is a horror movie I loved recently, but I think the way it ends is so perfect that like I don't want any more of that franchise. I love the way that they cut it off. Fuck, man, this is tough. Like Rain of Fire to me, because I'm like, I want to write that. Like I want to make Rain of Fire 2. So it's like I would love to see Rain of Fire 2, but like I wouldn't call it Rain of Fire 2. I call it Something of Fire, but I haven't figured out what the perfect word is yet.
Ooh, like Dominion of Fire.
That's
or
not
like
bad. I don't mind that.
Resurgence of Fire.
Snow Fire.
Like, I'd love to see Shin Godzilla 2. I would, as much as how funny that is. I do want to see.
More Japanese politics.
Yeah, and I just want to say, it's like it was such a unique take on Godzilla that I would like to have seen a little more of that, like where that was going, and that filmmaker, that director, so talented. I would have liked to have seen more of that.
Speaking of sequels, one of my beloved franchises and yours, Clerks, is getting a
Third.
A third. What do we think? Do we have high hopes for Clerks 3? Or is the assumption that it's going to be dog shit like the rest of what Kevin Smith has done?
I think.
Does it have potential?
Absolutely. I absolutely have faith that it'll be as good as Clerks 2. Like
I do as well.
Tons of
I
faith.
agree.
I don't think, because I think Jay and Silent Bob is such a fundamentally different property that I think
it's very specific.
Yeah.
That's
Jay
true.
and Silent Bob is a
They're characters in Clerks.
Yeah.
Yes.
the
That's where
characters
it
in all
started.
these VSQ universe, but the Jay and Silent Bob movie was a very, very like cartoony. Like most of them seem
They're
like
cartoony characters to begin
yeah,
with. So.
but most of the movies seem like most of USQ universe, like they're funny, they're comedies, but they seem like semi-grounded in reality. Jay and Silent Bob is like they're trying to return an orangutan to Hollywood. It's like this very like very cartoony plot.
Yeah.
And
which is the one that has Mark Hamill in it.
that's Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
All right.
So that's the Jay and Silent Bob movie. But Clerks.
Clerks is very different because like the first one was his very first movie ever.
Yep.
So it had lots of the things that come with a first movie, even as good as it is. And then Clerks 2 feels like it took a good idea and made it. It's like what Clerks 1 would have been if he had a real budget. And he took it and like it was bigger and funnier and like just so well written and like the acting is incredible and like I feel like if the trajectory is there, Clerks 3 could be, like you said, at least on par with Clerks 2.
I have faith. We
know he can make good movies.
Yeah,
we know it's possible.
Yeah, and I don't think you can really judge him based upon his previous
last several movies.
Judge me based on not on my successes, but on my failures because there are so few.
There are so few. And yeah, I don't know. It's like I think
Kevin Smith's batting at like 50, I would say 50%.
I'll say this: if Clerks 3 is bad,
you lost me.
Then we've hit a point where it's like, now you've done 3 duds in a row.
Yeah, now you lost me.
That's
Kevin.
rough. But I love Tusk. I fucking love Tusk. And I didn't think it was good. I thought it was great. So like, and then Yoga Hosers is the worst movie I've maybe ever seen.
We need to watch Tusk together. I've still
Is Yoga Hosers that bad?
It's so bad.
But like, yeah, I don't know.
It's almost unwatchable, Drek.
Like, it's like obviously it's one of those things where it's like I've now set the expectation for you. So like you're probably like, oh, it wasn't that bad. But you know what I mean? It's like I went into it being like, oh, this is a follow up to Tusk, and I really like
Canada
Tusk.
and like
and there's so
Yoga
many.
Hosers is just
There's so many. I hadn't seen Tusk, and it was. I agree 100% with every criticism Fran has. It's like Kevin Smith as a shell of himself. Like
it's just not funny. Just not well acted.
Yeah.
The two, like his daughter, maybe she's better now, but in that movie, she is a bad actress. And Johnny Depp's daughter is not a good actress. The best, I'm trying to remember if I think Johnny Depp is in that movie, and he's the best part, because he's also in Tusk, and it feels kind of out of place in Tusk, because Tusk, for the most part, feels like it's playing it very straight, and then Johnny Depp's character is quite cartoony. But he's funny, like he's a drunk Quebecois detective who wears a beret, and like it's funny at least, so it's like whatever. But yeah, I have no reservations about seeing Clerks 3, none at all. I'll see it, and I'll totally open-minded, and I totally think it has a possibility to be just on par and be a nice fucking third movie. But if it's bad, then I think it's time to like for Kevin Smith to maybe think about like, or you need to sit down and reevaluate big time, because like you're obviously whatever you think
I think the
people
big
want
problem
is not what people want.
I think the big problem potentially with Clerks is if he goes the direction he did with the most recent Jay and Silent Bob movie. Mm-hmm. It's like it's just doing like playing to that audience of people who are going to love him no matter what, and not playing to like the fan circle jerk. You know what I mean? Like tons of fan service.
And even it's like I kind of am that guy a little bit, but like Jay Silent Bob reboot,
so bad.
It just is. It's too much. It's way too much. Like you need to have this really intimate knowledge of all these inside jokes, and it's like
it's all nod, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, a lot of it, and like some of it I do like. Like I'm a big fan of Dogma. Who doesn't like Dogma? And like I love the little Matt Damon cameo, but I like even me watching it, I'm like I like this because I understand the relevance. But it's like if you haven't seen any of the other movies, you're gonna be like, what in the fuck is the relevance of Matt Damon in this movie? Like, what you've cut to this character that you. What is this? Like, I can't think of another franchise that does that so blatantly, where it's like you literally can't come into this without having story knowledge of the rest of these movies, because it's like you'll get maybe 20 minutes out of entertainment out of this movie, and the other hour and 10 you're gonna just be like, confused. I have no idea. But yes, I think that this is longer than the other one we did.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode. We're going to be coming back stronger, better than ever. We're going to do some more Reddit Roundtable. We're going to be bringing you guys some tune.
Name that
tune.
And maybe some snacks and drinks from around the world.
Yeah, we're going to do some exotic snacks and drinks from around the world.
Maybe some accents. Who knows?
I still won't be allowed to play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Thanks, guys. Stay tuned.